What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy. Something. Hit the keys. And in today's video, I'm about to give you guys all my secret sauce. I'm about to give you guys 10 effects plugins that I use on every beat that I make. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But let's go ahead and get right into this video. Some, hit the key. All right, guys, so these plugins are in no particular order. The first effect plugin that I use on almost every single beat is called SuperVHS by Baby Audio. So SuperVHS looks like this. This plugin is pretty solid. Basically, you can get bit crusher, you get distortion, you get warble, you get reverb, and you get a little bit of static, and you can mix it in. And then it has this phenomenal magic button in the middle, which is a chorus effect, which sounds phenomenal. So I basically use this on a piano. On this beat, the piano sounds like this. So a super basic piano, but once I threw Super VHS on there, so it's like night and day, and it's a very simple effect to use. Again, 30 seconds, and I changed the piano from sounding like this to sounding like this. And the second effects plugin that I use on like every single beat is definitely Guitar Rig 6 by Native Instruments. So when you open Guitar Rig 6, it is going to look like this. What's cool about Guitar Rig 6 is there is a ton of effects in here. So if you just right click and then you add component, you'll see here you have all kinds of different amplifiers. You got different cabinets, different delays, distortions, dynamics, EQs. You just have a ton of different effects that you can use to get whatever tone it is you're looking for in a guitar. Before I threw Guitar Rig on the guitar, this is what the guitar sounded like. All right, and so once I threw Guitar Rig on there, this is the first preset. I just grabbed the first preset and it sounds like this. But there are some fire presets, you know, so you can just, cipher through them and then you can, check them out. So some very fire presets. This is another one I definitely recommend checking out. There is a free version of this and there's also a light edition of this as well. All right, guys, up next on the list, we have another submission from Baby Audio. It's called Crystalline. Crystalline is a very fire reverb plugin. When you open it up, it is going to look like this. So I threw it on that instance of that guitar that we just had playing. And that guitar again sounded like this. Now, once we throw Crystalline on there, we can get it to sound like this. What really sets this reverb apart from other reverbs is all of the control that you get. So you get all these different controls to dial in the sound that you want with your reverb. That's very nice. And you get this shimmer effect here as well. You got a very nice Decker effect. I've done a complete review on this reverb. Very nice reverb. I'm glad it's in my collection. The fourth effect plugin that I use on like every single beat is Portal by Output. So when you take a look at Portal by Output, it is a granular effect. This is really good to add a little bit of extra texture to a sound or to switch up a beat and make it sound completely different. So here is the melody that I currently have Portal on. It sounds like this. All right, so I just have it on that ARP right there. But once I throw Portal on there, I can get it to sound like this. So you can hear all that granular texture and all that extra sound that's coming with it. Super dope. It is also a multi-effects plugin. So when you come here and you look underneath the hood, you get all kinds of different controls over different modulations, different effects over here. You get a bunch of different effects that you can decide to go through or whatever. But again, this is a very solid plugin to just get unique sounds, unique textures. Again, we'll just go through a couple of presets so you can hear some other things real quick, just, so you can know what it sounds like. So again, very solid multi-effect slash granular effect plugin. You can do so much with this plugin. All right, guys. So up next, we definitely have a plugin that I use on every single beat since this plugin has come out. It's called Knock by Decap. So when you take a look at this plugin is absolutely phenomenal for drums. So when you listen to this, I currently have it on a drum bus. And this is what the drum bus sounds like without Knock on there. All right, so now once we throw Knock on there, it's gonna sound like this. So you can hear how the knock is basically making the drums punch back through. So as you can see, this thing is phenomenal. It's really good for helping you shape your transients, helping to get your transients to punch through. You got saturation right here. You have control over your subharmonic frequencies, so you can make any kick a sub. So if I turn this up and turn this up right here, now we can make that kick a sub. So you can hear it's beating like a sub now, which is pretty cool as well. You have a little bit of air, and then you have your clipper right here, so you can make it a hard clipper or a soft clipper. So to the left, it's a soft clipper. To the right, it's a hard clipper. But this is by far, in my personal opinion, the GOAT of all the drum plugins. If you get this plugin, it is very easy to make your drums knock with this thing. The sixth FX plugin that I cannot live without comes from Nicky Romero and Cable Guys. It is called Kickstart 2. So when you look at Kickstart 2, basically this is a sidechaining effect for your 808 and your kick. I used to be huge on just finding the right 808 and the right kick and not sidechaining anything. But since I've started using this plugin, I literally sidechain everything. So this is basically what the kick and the 808 are going to sound like without Kickstart going. So you can kind of hear the 808 and the kick fighting for the same frequencies or kind of clashing a little bit, but now listen to it. So as you're looking at Kickstart, what you're seeing is this first half, this yellow part is the kick drum wave. And then the second part is the 808 wave. So basically what I'm doing is I'm deciding when I want the 808 wave to start, and it's basically ducking the frequencies. So if you look here, if you look every time this kick drum hits, the kick is the basic and the simp is the 808, the 808 will duck just a little bit. And so you can look at this on the screen right here, and you'll notice that the yellow part is the initial transient of the kick, and then the rest of it is the 808, and you can see them in tandem. So you can see that every time that the kick hits, the 808 and the kick should be hitting at the same time because that's how the MIDI notes are programmed in. But what Kickstart is doing is that it's ducking the initial transient of the 808 so that the kick comes through clearer and it makes your mixes a lot less muddy. This is definitely a fire little plugin. I recommend it. It's like $15. This will definitely make your relationship between your 808 and your kick much greater. The seventh must-have plugin that I have for you guys today is called Thermal by Output. Thermal by Output is a phenomenal distortion plugin. This is probably the GOAT when it comes to distortion and saturation plugins. It is also a multi-effect plugin, so you will get multiple effects with this as well, so you can add all kinds of different stuff. But this thing is great for guitars, it's great for 808s, it's great for vocals, it's great really for anything. This is what the 808 I used on the beat sounded like before I threw thermal on there. All right, so now once we throw thermal on there, it sounds like this. And it sounds super fire with the piano in there and everything as well. So super fire. Another thing that I use the thermal on too is for this vocal. So this vocal sounded like this before I threw the thermal on there.
Please stay. Oh, no, oh, oh, no, oh, oh.
So good sounding vocal, but once I threw thermal on there, it sounded like this.
Please stay. Oh, no, oh, oh, no, oh, oh, no, oh, please.
And that's just one of the presets in thermal. Thermal, there is a ton of different presets in here as well. So you can just come here. Everything's broken down by drums, bass, vocals, guitars, keys, lo-fi, all that other stuff. But there's a ton of great presets in here. This is another one that I recommend going to grab because this thing is fire. All right, guys, and the next plugin that I have on this list for you guys is called Looperator by Sugar Bytes. Looperator is an oldie but a goodie, but it's a fire plugin because you can do all kinds of different stuff. So you can basically add effects on different steps in the sequencer. So as you're looking at this, each one of these is a different effect. And what's cool about this is just adding Looperator to something can completely give it a different feel or a different vibe. So this is what this part of the loop sounds like without Looperator on there. And it's this part right here. It sounds like this. All right, not too fancy, but if we turn the Looperator on and we watch it, these are going to affect every step. And so now listen to it. So super fire, just throwing this little effect on whatever melody or whatever that you have can change it up immensely. As you can see here, there's a ton of different effects, a ton of different presets for you to go through, all kinds of different stuff that you can do, which just makes this plugin great. Again, it's an oldie but a goodie, but it is definitely a goodie and you can do all kinds of different stuff. So as you're looking here, you can pitch up, you can pitch down, you can throw different kinds of reverbs on there, just all kinds of different stuff. You know, you can click the dice at random. You have different filters, low pass, high pass, all kinds of different filters, looping effects, just different stuff that you can do to just get the most unique sounds that you can possibly find in your rhythms. All right, guys, and the ninth effects plugin that I could not live without is definitely Shaperbox 2 by Cable Guys. Shaperbox 2 is a very solid multi-effect module plugin. It's got your time. This is very solid. So this is like your halftime, but it affects stutters, scratches, skips, glitches, all that stuff. You have distortion, you have noise. The noise is fire because you get everything from crickets to vape sounds to vinyl crackles to tape sounds, all that other stuff. You get your different little filters, your bit crusher, your volume shaper, your pan shaper, your width shaper. So I have up the pan shaper right now as we speak, and I was just kind of using this on a hi-hats. So you can hear the hi-hats panning back and forth. But you can hear the hi-hats panning back and forth, so it's really good for modulation. It's got all kinds of different rhythms, so you can get super intricate in your rhythms. But then you can do this for everything. So like, let's say I throw this on the master track, you know, you got halftime, you have all these different effects. So what I love the most about this is if you hit this initialize button right here, you have all these different presets where it combines all the modules together and it gives you little different effects. So I use the chop and repeat effects often. So again, this is what the beat sounds like. But like, let's say you want to do some kind of automation where you're doing some kind of beat break or something like that. You know, you can click on one of these and it's going to give you that break for you. So you can hear how it's giving you that, you know, the different break feel, but it's got different vinyl break beats, different time jumps, all kinds of different stuff. So that's super fire. I mean, you got instant remixes, you got all kinds of different stuff that you can use with this in order to change up the way a beat sounds or modulate any sound or anything in a beat. This is definitely one of the ones. All right, guys, and the last effects plugin on this list, I definitely could not live without. It is called Ozone 9 Advanced by iZotope. So when you look at Ozone 9 Advanced, this is basically a mastering suite. So I use this on every single song that I complete, and I use this on every finished beat that is done. That is a complete finished beat that I use for streaming services or whatnot. What's cool about this is that you get all these different effects, and they're basically mastering effects that you would use in a mastering chain. If you do get Ozone 9 Advanced, you can use all these effects standalone as well. Another thing that's cool about this is that you get a ton of different presets. So when you're starting off, you get some presets that you can start with so that you can get at least a decent master. And then what I recommend starting with is this light cleanup. It's going to give you an EQ, an imager, and a maximizer, and then build from there. But this is definitely a solid mastering effect that's going to definitely just take your sound from almost finished to finished. So that's what I have for you guys today. Those are 10 effects plugins that I really do use on almost every single beat. I live stream all the time. You can check out the live streams. I'm using these effects live and in action on every live stream. But these are the ones for me. What I'm also going to do for you guys is I'm just going to play out the little beat that we've been messing with throughout this whole demonstration so you guys can check it out. Comment down below and let me know what your favorite VST plugins are that are effects plugins. What are your go-tos and what you have to have in your collection. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time I bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.